everybody, welcome to another episode of HDHD where the set is cheap but the talk is deep. Yeah, not anymore actually, because these days our set is pretty drip, pretty G.
Hey!
Yes, okay. My name is John and I'm your host for HDHD, and I know you've been missing my voice for a long time for HDHD. Today we are joined by a very special guest. Okay, we are joined by Estelle.
Hey!
Hey, okay, let me give you some backstory about Estelle and then you can correct me if I'm wrong or you can add on some more.
Okay.
Estelle was part of the Japanese pop idol scene,
Ayo.
being a member of the C star A, is that correct?
Correct.
CA?
I was waiting to see how you're going to pronounce it, but yes.
Being a member of CA before moving back to Singapore. So I believe that's the correct way to pronounce.
Yeah.
She has since amassed a following on various social media sites, including 84.3K, 84.3 thousand followers on TikTok, 14.4 thousand followers on Instagram, and 1.7K followers on Twitch. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Popular.
Yeah, okay lah.
She has also released multiple songs like quote, Love Like This, which got 450,000 listens on Spotify. But what makes
I
this
did not know that, but
multi-talented person function, right? What makes her tick, we will find out today. So Estelle, do you
Ooh.
like the HDHD?
Yes, I would love to. Both.
Yes, and that's why we're here today. And as in traditional HDHD fashion, we have our favorite kind of beverage, the nectar of the gods.
Oh, hey, I like the ring of that, the nectar of the gods.
Right? But before we go on today, I just want to share with you all, this is One Shot Korean Soju. For those of you all that saw us on some of our previous episodes, you are right. They are the sponsor of our show today. So One Shot Korean Soju, you gangster. Okay, thank you so much for being the drink sponsor today. We have 3 flavors with us, which actually we kind of low-key reviewed a little just now. Revealed, not reviewed, right? Our green grape, our watermelon, which is my favorite fruit, by the way, and lychee.
It's my favorite fruit too.
Yes, and this is what we will be getting to try today.
Really?
Okay, so which one you want to start with?
Watermelon.
Watermelon is the correct answer.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, let me just take this out.
Okay, so
Let me
you're
just
drinking
put
from
this
the
down.
bottle.
No.
Oh.
That's why we got 2 cups. Because even though we are fully vexed, and the
yes.
world is becoming better.
Yes,
Could you
of
push your
course.
cup closer, please?
Oh, this is my Rilakuma one.
Oh, yes.
Choto ne.
Oh, okay. Put on the other cup. Put on your party club. Your
Yeah,
party
my
cup.
100th anniversary Oreo cup.
Watermelon, let's go. Hear that pop.
Do you get to play the drinking game where we get to flip?
No, but you
Guess the number.
guess what number?
86.
0 to 86.
Hey, why me? Why is it me? Alistair gets to guess.
And Lester has no mic.
No, I can. Gods of the universe, tell me what the number is. 52.
0 to 52. One last guess. Maybe you'll get this. Well, if you get it on the dot, right, I'll be so mind blown.
I would be too. I need to buy Toto already. Wait,
Yeah.
38. Drink, Estelle.
38?
Yeah, 38.
No, it's not 38.
Yeah, lah, exactly. I was like helping myself. What's the
Wait,
number?
cheers.
Ach-
24.
Oh, 24. That's my age. How I know?
Ah, that's my age too.
Cheers.
Watermelon soju. Thoughts?
Sweet.
Sweet.
And it does taste like watermelon, I'm not gonna lie.
It does.
It's not like those like artificial flavoring. Like they,
Yeah.
like they try to give that fresh watermelon taste.
Very fresh. Almost as if you
Interesting.
can see the dew still dripping off the watermelon. Anyway, okay, Estelle, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having
Okay.
me, man.
So today we'll be talking a little bit more about you to help
Mm-hmm.
people understand a little bit more about you. But we do understand that you said, you discovered that you're quite a private person. And today we're going to pry.
Okay.
Okay?
And I'll give you the word.
Yes. Verdict.
Okay.
The verdict of today
Yeah.
is that is sweet. Okay, section 1. It's called The Preparations, okay, by our dear producer and stalker, Alistair Pang. Okay?
Oh, effective or not? Your stalker.
Very effective. Okay, for
Jesus
those of you that haven't watched our
Christ.
HDHD, you should check out other HDHD. Super effective stalker. But I realized something before I go any further. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, do remember to follow us on Instagram. We are imo.pod, which is usually dedicated more to our regular segment. And our Telegram chat and all our other links you can check out on the description box below. Simultaneously, while we're doing this, we're also streaming on Twitch. So for those of you that are planning to follow us a little bit more closely because you love us so much, please join us on Twitch too. And also for those of you that are watching on YouTube, yes, I forgot to mention, there will be 2 chances of giveaways for y'all for during this episode. Thank you so much, One Shot Korean Soju. I will come to that later. Okay. First segment, which is the preparations. Question 1.
Okay.
What is one thing about the behind the scenes of coming up with a song that you wish more people knew about? Technical question right off the bat, man.
What is it?
Okay, maybe it's easier. Give people a little bit more of a background about how you got into this. Got into music performance and stuff like that.
Okay, so basically, okay lah. I mean, I grew up really like listening to Spice Girls. Britney Spears.
Who's your favorite Spice Girl?
I like Mel C.
I have no clue who that is, but
She's a Sporty Spice.
Aha, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
Sporty
okay.
Spice. Sorry, yeah, Sporty Spice. Anyway, I just grew up with Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, then Disney and everything. So I grew up just really wanting to perform, period.
Right.
And then, okay lah, that's pretty much all that you need to know, like important points
Yeah.
lah. So fast forward, I work in this maid cafe. But I'm working with the same company right now. We're like doing
Yeah.
game reviews and whatnot. Yeah. So back then, I actually interviewed to be part of a maid cafe, an annual maid cafe at an anime festival.
Where was this?
It was held at Suntec City because it's
Right.
an anime festival. So
Yeah.
it happens once every year for like, at the time it was 2 days. I
Yeah.
don't think it was 3 days. Now it's like 4 days, that kind of thing. But at the time it was like only 2 days.
Yeah.
So I just kind of interviewed to work law as a
Yeah.
maid. And I was really into anime at the time.
I mean, now too.
Yeah, but back then was crazy. Like back then it was like, I want my boyfriend to be like an anime guy, so like Shannon or like whoever. You know, like kind like I want my guys to like Thor, Teen,
Who
and then
was
like
the
Kabedon.
Kabedon. You
Yeah,
were into
like
that.
Kabedon.
Who is the first anime boy? that you
Oh,
liked?
easy peasy. Xiaoran from Cardcaptor Sakura. Xiao Lang, they call him.
Oh my
in
God.
Cardcaptor. But he was so cute and he was so cool, and
I
he was
did
my
like
favorite.
Cardcaptor Sakura too.
Yeah, he's still my favorite. When I watched Chronicle Tsubasa, so it was like
Yeah.
an aged up version of him. I was dying. Teenage me was like, oh my god, oh my god. But but anyway, back to the answer. So I was
Yeah.
like really into anime, and then I actually got the job, and I worked as a maid in a cafe.
Yeah.
And then the event wanted to promote like this karaoke set, a Japanese karaoke set called Joy
Yeah.
Sound. So
Joy Sound.
Joy Sound.
Is
So
it still in existence?
I have no clue. But it was back then it was really like it's like MIDIs, yeah. Like when they
Yeah,
play
yeah.
the songs and really like MIDI at it.
Right.
Yeah, but they were like, we need someone to help promote it, and we were thinking maybe get some of the mates to come out and perform
Yeah.
and use the machine. Then I was like, oh, I would love to because I listen to anime songs and I like to sing too.
Yeah.
Maybe I could try. And it was so funny because it's a karaoke machine, right? You think you read off the screen, right? No, I read off a piece of paper on the stage.
So what does the machine do?
It gives you the words, but I cannot read Japanese characters at the time.
Right. Okay.
So I still read the romaji on a piece of paper and I stood there and then I sang. So I sang on stage, and then because it's an anime event, there are also real voice actresses, singers and what.
wow.
Because on the stage I was singing to promote this thing, right? This machine.
Yeah.
They were all in the changing room or like like their waiting rooms
Right.
behind.
Right.
So when I was singing, they can totally hear because it's a convention hall, ma.
Yeah.
So when I sang, right, there were like managers and everything there. And when I finished, right, they came out and then they they came out, they were like, oh, you did very good. Then I was like, oh, thank you very much, thank you very much. And I had no idea who these people are, by the way. I just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, thank you, like, oh, Japanese people,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
validated. Like, you speak Japanese, I feel validated. So that was when one of the artists, her name's called Mayan. She's really huge. I don't know if you watch Macross Frontier. Do you guys watch Macross Frontier? Oh, okay, but anyway,
Macross is the car one, right?
no, Macross is
I
like,
can't remember. The
it's
robot
like,
one.
yeah, robot.
Right,
It's a
right,
bit
right,
like Gundam like that, but
It's been a while. We must brush up on that.
yeah, it's been like 10 years plus with that anime. But so yeah, one of the Anisong idols were there, or artists rather. She wasn't an idol. They're called artists.
Yeah.
So the manager was interested. He was like, hey, would you consider like performing in Japan? Then when you're like 16, 17 years old, right? And then you're like
And you're
brought
just
up,
like Japan.
yeah, and then you're brought up like watching Disney Channel and all this, like Hannah Montana. You're like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god, I get to really be a singer. Of course, I would love to. But it wasn't until a year later where they were serious about it. And
Yeah,
then I
yeah.
went to audition. And at that time, I was already 17. Yeah. So that was like my step into it. And then eventually, that's how I pretty much became an idol. And then when I came to Singapore, I kind of like, it was just completely different. Being in
Yeah.
Singapore is completely different.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah.
No, that was a cool backstory. But like, let's come back to the question, because I think this one is important. And like, having understood your background a little bit better, you may be able to come up with the technical thoughts, right? Which was what is one thing about the behind the scenes of coming up with a song that you wish more people knew about? Because I think you are someone who has a lot of experience in terms of performance and singing.
Yes. I feel like people tend to forget that every little thing that you see on the screen. I'm not sure for other artists, but for me, right?
Yeah.
When I want to work on something, you aga, especially when it comes to dance, right? You
Yeah.
must have like a concept, how people look, what's going to happen on the screen, what kind of story you want people to see.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm not like Selena Gomez. I do my song and then I like, hey, I want to talk about this, and then you give like a bunch of producer directors to do it. Like, it's really not that. I think a lot of local artists, they have a lot of hands-on as to like the directors they want to do, like what scenes they want to push out. Like they have like storyboarding.
Yeah.
I'm involved in storyboarding. I'm involved in like producing, like the track I don't, but it's in like the actual shoot I have to do that. Wardrobes and everything. It's just every little single detail, right? I think people tend to forget, right, how hard artists in Singapore have to work just to present something like that, because we don't have a lot of support when it comes to things like this. I feel lah. So I mean, if you're like an indie artist, especially, a lot of it's like DIY. It's like everything is you. And I think people tend to overlook that sometimes. So yeah, support your local artists. They work freaking hard, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Estelle once said, when it came to singing, I quote, right? When it came to singing, when I was supposed to write songs about how I feel, I didn't really know how to express myself emotionally in words, end quote. Why do you think you struggled with it, and how did you overcome it?
I really think I struggle because I'm a Chinese girl born in a Chinese family.
What? Wait, what?
I don't no, wait. As in, okay, my family, we are all very passive people. So
Right.
first of all, when you feel anything, right, we don't really talk about it. We just like, if we said we cry, we don't talk about why we cry. Like, yeah, I don't really like go to, I don't really speak out about how I feel about certain things. I just brush it off as like, and I'm from a Christian household, so a lot, if you cry, then just pray, lor. If you got anger issues, then like pray about it. Like, so like a lot of times it's not a bad thing, but because of that, right, I never really felt the need to put myself aside and to like really express it. And back then, I don't write in diaries and stuff like that. It was very much just, this is how I feel, that I just let it go.
Right.
So when it comes to writing music, right, it's like how Taylor Swift is able to just, I don't know, like put whatever you feel into situations or moments that you can relate to. I felt like that was like a huge challenge for me, because I never got that kind of practice, So like people, you guys have to really understand, if singers can really articulate feelings into situations, moments for you to relate to, I feel that it's like a crazy good skill. Like, I don't know how you guys do it.
So how did you like develop that? Because after all, to write emotive songs, you do have to somehow feel the emotion in.
Actually, this is gonna sound like damn boring. I think just like,
say it. How did you do it?
I think if you go through enough like challenges and trauma, you realize you have no one to talk to, and then you go to therapy, and then how you talk through things, and then you kind of like word vomit it out.
Oh no!
And then you realize you don't have enough money to afford therapy, so you just have to learn to do it with your friends. And then you guys realize, and then everybody's in the same boat. It's like, bro, I feel you, man. I also like, now I just like, we just talk to each other, and then we just help each other. Self-aware,
And then after that, you started writing
and then
things down.
it's just easier for you to like kind of write how you feel in that certain situation. No,
And then-
serious. I know it sounds like,
And then suddenly song.
I mean, the one of the most genius artists in the world, I reckon, right, are the people who are like, who have experienced the most, like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And then once they're able to actually express it, suddenly they have like just so much to say to the world. So I really genuinely feel like, when people say I go through a lot of tough stuff, I was like, yeah, I know, but it really builds onto like who you are as a person too. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, going back to the question, sorry.
Yeah. But cheers to that.
Cheers. Boop.
How do you overcome that hurdle?
Wow, my answer very grim.
Say.
Alcohol! Games!
Yes.
Okay, talking to your best friend. I think it's just taking one day at a time. I think the best form of encouragement or advice I can give to
Yeah.
anyone, or like anyone who's in fact has ever come to me and told me they're going through a tough time,
Yeah.
I'll always just tell them really just take things one thing at a time, because
Yep.
a lot of times we pressure ourselves about the future so much. It's like stuff that we really can control. We cannot control. Like we plan for it and we can't control. And if you're someone who overthinks a lot, right, it's really gonna crush you.
Right.
Yeah. So just just settle what's gonna happen tomorrow, and then once you're getting good at that, then you can slowly handle a week and then a month and then yeah.
That's pretty good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to the next section, which is which is called the music video. Okay.
Okay.
Songwriters like Melanie Martinez, I hope I got that right, and
Yeah.
Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Sorry if you all hear that, that's the bus moving in the background. But Melanie Martinez and Olivia Rodrigo have been known to think about the music video and other quote-unquote deliverables, like how they want the live show to be while writing the song. Is that something you do as well?
Yes. Yes.
Why
yes.
and why not?
Okay, I'm not entirely sure. Melanie Martinez, I also think it's because a lot of her image is like a concept. She
Yeah.
builds her whole entire image over on a concept, right? For Melanie. Olivia Rodriguez, sorry, I butchered her name. She's like really like the artist of like now. And I'm sorry if I haven't done any homework on her, but I just know that she's a freaking talented writer.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift validated her, so I guess she's very good.
Yeah.
So, but I understand that, because for me, I'm not like, I'll be very frank here, right? I'm not like a super, I know my strengths and weaknesses. And one of my strengths is live performances and visual stuff, which is why I dance, because it's one of my strengths, right? So in order for me to put on a show or anything, right, I really need to start thinking like, if a choreography were to be done for this track, right? How's it gonna look? How many people are gonna be involved? Is it gonna involve guys? I know it sounds really
So
weird.
it's like some kind of creative vision. in
Yes,
that
a
sense,
creative
right?
vision. And then it makes you think like, okay, like if you have a dance and all these, there's like TikTok and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Is it going to be a viral dance? Is it going to work in Singapore? Because, Singapore, to be very honest, if you try to do viral dance, it's really freaking hard. If you try and you succeed, then kudos to you. It's freaking hard. Hey, that one is National Day, man. We ain't got nothing on National
But
Day.
this one's so viral. See this island.
No, must do the halftime. There's like this halftime before that. And then you go the double time. I totally understand why they need to like do all that kind of creative prep when it comes to I get it.
Interesting. Okay, next question. In Estelle's Love Like This music video, there was an artistic meaning behind the different colors and dances,
Yeah.
as well as clever editing tricks to sell the story. What are some of these hidden meanings that were packed into the video?
Okay, so basically every different color is like is it Inside Out, that show, the Pixar show, where
Yes.
every emotion is like given a different color, different so I wanted to have the dancers have a meaning too. I didn't want them to just park there, you see. So I was like, okay, everybody's gonna be a different color that's gonna signify different emotions. And at the beginning when I was wearing white, that is like it's supposedly my pure state.
Oh,
Like my pure, innocent, naive state.
right.
And then the breakup happens and then your emotions just kind of go all over the place, which is
Yeah.
why all the dancers go to different locations.
Ah.
Yeah. And then after that, it's like a grieving process. So first you feel you're naive, you're sad, you kind of go all over the place and then you get angry. I think a lot of times the first thing we go to is anger. And then after that, we grieve. We feel
Yeah,
sad about
it's
it
true.
after, that kind of thing. So where I was going for, it was just like a grieving process in the form of a video. So after all the emotions were like different colors, they kind of meet at this field.
Yeah.
And then all of them are like wearing red, just like what I'm wearing. So that at the present moment, that was what I was feeling. I was feeling this immense, like I guess it's a very strong emotion, whether it's
Yeah.
anger or passionate about something or
Yeah.
whatever. It's just like everybody is like in this one color because they all feel that same way. And then after that, you become black law because ultimately you look cool wearing black, right? But it's like actually interestingly enough also, right? Black is actually like absence of color at the end of the day.
Yes.
So like after losing everything, after having a love like this, right? You're burnt out, right? Burn out, you gonna come what color? Black color, right? So I become black.
You're right.
With cool neon lights. But I just wanted to capture this like simple meaning and then just kind of put it visually. But after everything, I was just like, okay, like, it looks cool, got dance, it looks fine. I don't know whether people pick up on it or not, then sure, like, if they don't, then never mind. You know, at some point, right, as a creative, you cannot
Yeah.
put so much pressure on yourself. If people don't get it, you're just like, okay, like, I cannot do anything already.
Actually, that's the follow-up question that I wanted to ask you because, like, do you think most people will have gotten the meaning of those things?
Hell no, a lot of times all our minds think differently, right?
But like, you know, do you ever like feel like discouraged when you like do something with like Easter egg style stuff and people be like, oh, I don't get that, you know?
I think at the beginning, yes, but I think as you the more or the longer you do something, you tend to try to like not take things too seriously sometimes. And one thing I learned, Singaporeans don't gravitate to people who take themselves way too seriously. Also, they like it when a Singaporean or a person is being authentic to themselves.
Right.
You know, so like I was just like, yeah, you know what? If they don't get it, it's fine. You know, like at the end of the day, I want to just put out something good, and if they enjoyed it, anywho's, then great. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, for a lot of younger creatives out there, this may be something that they struggle with. So, good concept there.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. And TikTok, guys. Use TikTok. Music on TikTok works wonders.
TikTok, I only know the get into it, yo. Then after that, I was go away. I never watched so far.
What was that? What was that?
The Doja Cat one. Get into it, yo. Something like that. They do this. Then after that, I never watched it. And
Got
because
any more? Can show me some more.
God.
It's
My For You page is all just cats.
oh, same. Mine is also cats.
Right. Cats and the occasional Apex Legend and the occasional XMM will come out and get into it, yo.
Oh.
So I know this part.
I do not recognize this, but I'm pretty sure it's a trending
For all
thing.
you TikTok people out there, you know what I'm talking about. After that, they do something with the leg.
Oh, is it?
You know, I
Later
don't
you
watch
show me.
it.
Later you show me.
If I can find it, because it's all cats and like food.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. And I follow this guy that likes train watching.
Train watching.
Yeah, he
like
watches-
a Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah, he watches trains on bridges and everything. And he's like, woo!
Interesting.
I'm that kind of nerd, lah. Okay.
Interesting. He watched Bridges.
He does.
Food
He
and
watched
Cats.
trains
Oh,
on
trains.
bridges.
Oh,
Watch
Okay.
bridges.
How I know, man? Maybe the bridge got a bird come and perch on.
It is amazing.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move on to the third part.
Okay.
Okay. But this part we're gonna split a little bit, and then after that we'll take a short camera break.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
segment 3 is called the promotions. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
Question following that will be following the rise of platforms like YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and TikTok to promote one music. Is becoming social media savvy now an important part of success in the music industry? And how do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with that. And I think because social media is made for, and like artists in the first place hop on all these social medias just so people can find them relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you suddenly see, like if you see like Blackpink, they were like, oh, I'm at the shoot, but you know, I'm makaning here or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
drinking, but then here I am BTS at the shoot. That's the whole point of like
Yeah.
social media. That's what fans crave. They want to see what happens outside of their MVs, outside of everything else. You get what I mean?
Do you think
Because
it's
we're very
like
kaypoh.
do you think it's like a evolution of people consuming content, or is it just something that people have wanted all along?
I think it's something that people didn't know that they want.
Right.
And then when YouTube came about and vlogs started happening, they realized, oh my God, this is so interesting. And I think a lot of companies, and I'm using maybe companies based off Korea especially, because they are really milking every avenue of like social media for their
Yeah.
groups to get famous. They know that the fans will always want more. And the best way for them to want more is through variety shows where they don't need a whole entire set to like go on to all the time. They get their artists to hold like cameras on their own and then film themselves doing like chapalang stuff. That's what fans want to see. They want to see how you are as a person, even though it's not really 100%, but at least something close, you know, to what happens off screen.
Yeah.
And I think it was just like YouTube did that and eventually became Instagram, like photos.
Yeah.
I mean, at first everybody was like taking some chapalang photo, like take coffee or whatever.
And then the filter tick tick.
Exactly, like the really like vignette, they call it
Yeah,
vignette,
yeah.
like them cow at the side, that kind. But then after that, people start to realize that, oh my God, people actually care about their personal life. And that's how influencers came about, because they influence people on the daily, right? On top of the blogs. Because it used to be blogs, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, blogs. And then they realized that something visual really helped them. It wasn't just reading, because people are freaking lazy. Who wants to read? We watch videos, right? Watch TV. At the end of the day, we all always want to sit down and watch TV. Yeah. So after that, TikTok. Our attention span grows shorter than TikTok. Watch TV and then it's like short bursts of.
So how
Content.
would you say you feel about that? Is it something that you feel like wah sian, or just go with the flow?
I think it's good because I feel like if especially local musicians, it's
Yeah.
like a brand new avenue for them to get discovered. Because I think Singaporeans, a lot of artists struggle with being with the exposure aspect, being discovered overseas, locally, and not everyone's on TikTok. It's so much more easier for like just TikTok to just push it to random people.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. But the downside is, like, if you're someone who likes your private time and whatnot, it can get easily super tiring for the artist. But you know what? Companies won't care because if it works and it brings in the revenue, then why not? You know, it's one of those things like, you know, there's the pros and then there's the cons. But if you really think about it, I don't really think it's a bad thing. Yeah, it'll help it's perspective lah. Yeah.
Which actually leads nicely into the following question, which is, should success just be limited to how good one is at music and not how good they are at promoting themselves?
I think at the end of the day, whatever you do is still a business. Yeah, I mean, it's great that you're doing music, but the reason why businessmen and whatever push and support music, like those that really support Universal, at the end of the day, the ones that are like in charge of Universal are not really musicians. They're like people who are businessmen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to do music, the reality of it is you have to kind of do both. Even the most successful musicians in the world have to do both. Like Taylor Swift is not just sit there play guitar. She's a girl who has a clever brain for business. Jasmine Sokko, she's a clever girl. She's a really clever girl. So like, you cannot. I think it will be a nice world where musicians can just do their thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're really good at it and you have a very solid team, then I think it's possible.
Yeah.
But it's always a plus if you can do both. Unless you're Bruno Mars or Michael Jackson. But even Michael Jackson was like a damn... Okay, wait. He's a clever businessman, but I don't know. Depending on where your stance is like whatever he's done in his life is his own thing. But
I
other than
never
that-
thought I would see the day where we debate Michael Jackson politics, but here we are.
I'm sorry. But I love him. But I know some people, their stance on him. So I just want to put it out there.
Right.
But yeah.
Understandable. Oh, interesting. Okay. That is actually quite a good thought because I think that's applicable to all kinds of artists and creatives as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are people who are bitter about the fact that, people who seem to be mediocre but are better at promoting themselves seems to get a bigger slice of the cake. But I think you hit the nail on the head on the fact that like most of the time these are businesses. There has to be business that has to be done. So if you do not have a business brain in terms of how these platforms are and capitalize on them well,
Correct.
It's through no fault of anyone that you're losing out.
It's just how the world works, unfortunately. Yeah. But if you ever crack the code, oh my god, you are like musician Jesus. Yeah. Please.
You are like musician Jesus.
Yeah,
print that on a shirt.
I'm pretty sure any musician would love for that to happen to them, like genuinely. But in this modern day and age, is going to be really hard.
Tough. Cheers to that.
Tough. Cheers.
So we'll move on to the next question that we mentioned just now.
Okay.
Right? Will be with songs like Any Song by Zico going viral on TikTok with its quote unquote simpler dance, right? Is it plausible that like other K-pop groups will start to incorporate simpler dances in the chorus for virality?
I actually thought they were doing that way before already, and they realized that that's how K-pop became famous in the first place, because all the steps were just very doable.
Right.
And then eventually they realized that they really had to step up the skills of the idols, and then now the girls are like doing full-on hip-hop routines for their songs. So if anything, it was like backwards, and then TikTok just because like TikTok's for the general audience right now.
Yeah.
Everybody can dance. So naturally, as a form of like getting their songs viral, they make things more simpler for people to do. So that makes sense. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like the follow-up question to that would be, right, do you think this is a good trend, or should groups and artists focus more on the craft? Do you think it's a good trend, or should they just focus more on
I don't think
what their art is?
I don't think it's good or bad. It just feels like an extension of it's just another form of promotion, really. So I mean, you should always focus on your craft, regardless, and then still put in the work for making things viral, right? Or like promotion wise. So if like simpler dance move is a good form of extension for your track, then by all means just do it. But if not, you can always do some of the singers, they do a run and then they do it on TikTok and they see whether
what do you mean by a run?
They're gonna like the voice.
That explained absolutely nothing.
Okay, but basically, like how Ariana Grande does all her like very complicated. She sings like an ad-lib where she'll be like, "Oh baby,"
okay.
they do that kind of run things.
Okay.
And then they put it on TikTok and they make it a challenge. So it's not a dance challenge, but it's a singing challenge. So it it fits a bigger, like, I won't say bigger, actually bigger is the wrong word, like a
Right.
different kind of demographic, which is really huge too.
Mm,
So as you can do anything that could be a challenge, like a viral challenge, like
Yeah.
a transitional beauty challenge too, but it has to be a good form, like a good extension from your song, yes, to make sense lah.
Aha.
Yeah, if
So
you-
it cannot be just for the sake of social media.
Yeah, it shouldn't be just for the sake of social media.
Mm.
But
That's where you
because-
draw the line on whether it's
I-
healthy.
I mean, ideally, but I mean, in current day and age, social media is like honestly the most powerful form of promotion. But like you see our Singapore radio, right?
Yeah.
I can openly say or like safely say that our radio top playlist, right, is dictated by TikTok songs. Every single song that you hear on TikTok, right, is playing on the radio right now, 98.7. I swear to you. Because it got viral on TikTok first, and a lot of artists, right, they
Oh
will
my
send
God.
TikTok the first 30, not first 30, like just a short snippet,
Yeah.
and they release it on TikTok first, and then the full song comes like a week or 2 weeks later
Oh my
on the radio.
God.
Because it's that powerful of a tool. So if anyone says that I just want to focus on music and not care about social media, if you can do that and be freaking pro, oh my God, you're freaking Jesus already.
John
Like, you're-
Mayer.
Yeah, if you can.
You're John Mayer.
Yeah. Honestly speaking, yes. But to be fair, he got really popular before TikTok
Yeah,
and
that's
anything became
true.
a thing, you see.
Yeah.
But now, like, a lot of artists would use TikTok. Like the Mad at Disney song, she
The
came from
what at
TikTok.
Disney?
I'm mad at Disney. They tricked me. Have you heard that song before? Yeah, she was from
Vaguely.
TikTok. Yeah, that song came from TikTok. And it was like in bits and pieces of like 30 seconds,
yeah.
which is why the actual song is like, what, 2 minutes and a half? Or 2 minutes only?
Ah.
Yeah, so it's a very, very powerful tool.
Wow, that's actually quite interesting. I never thought about music going this way.
Yeah.
Like making it in short form on social media first before becoming a full song.
Yeah.
And don't you feel that's like a bit roundabout or like the other way around? Do you feel that it's a good step that the world is like this now?
I think it's just people just trying to find, it's like a race, like just getting ahead of everybody. And it's been effective ever since. But trust me, once this is, eventually this will be the norm and then people will start doing something else again. You know? So it's just evolving with the times.
That's true.
Unfortunately, it's just because technology is advancing so fast and our attention span is getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
You realize our songs just get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter
Yeah,
too. At some point, right, our songs are just going to be jingles, I tell you. It's just going to be like 1 minute only. And then, because
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
if you realize a lot of the songs are like 2.5 minutes, some even target for 2 minutes now. It's because
Yeah.
our attention is just way too short.
It's true, now that you mentioned it. Wow. So we're having a crisis of attention, demand, and supply.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Estelle said that she started TikTok by, quote, just uploading nonsense and gained the following from that. What do you think is lacking in the social media scene that people are craving for such... Okay, what do you think is lacking in the social media scene, that people are craving for such nonsense content?
Okay, I'm gonna be very honest, right?
Yes.
I don't freaking have a freaking freckle clue. To be honest, you're asking the wrong person because I'm not like the best at social media. You should be asking people who are like have like 600k followers. Like maybe
Right.
Xia Xue, she'll probably know everything
right.
about it. But I just really think like people like to see other people make a fool of themselves.
Yeah.
And if you speak a certain level of truth in it, even better. Yeah. It's like how we like to see cats do stupid shit because it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
very out
yeah,
of their character to do so.
I see.
Yeah. So I guess it's, to put it bluntly, I guess it's like the same thing. Yeah, just do something stupid but still entertaining.
So what's lacking in social media, I guess, it's people actually having these kind of dumb things in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, look at America's Funniest Home Videos back then when we...
Oh my god.
Do you remember that on TV?
Yeah, and just for laughs.
Yeah, it's just a whole hour of people looking freaking stupid.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
a human thing that we enjoy looking at it. Yeah, innocently doing it.
Funnily
People like
enough,
that.
on my TikTok, on my own personal TikTok, I'm just gonna keep plugging until you all follow me, right?
Aiyo.
John Edward Legit, right? The videos that do best when I do stupid things.
Yeah. Sometimes you like take like half an hour to do and sekali your views like damn sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, on TikTok it's really just be yourself and just like very little production value still works on TikTok.
Yeah,
Yeah. Content needs to be good, that's all can you do.
that's true. All right, so we'll move on to the next question.
Okay.
Okay, as someone who takes pride in your craft in both music and dance, does it matter to you how you gain your following?
I'm gonna be very honest. I think if I was attached to any management, to me it's like not really.
Mm-mm.
I'm not, and I think I don't know, man. I think I just grew up. I like performing.
Yeah.
But it was never like, oh my God, I can't wait for people to just idolize me and fan
Yeah.
me and follow. I never had that. I really don't know how to. Look at me, I mean, I freaking shop at Taobao. I really got nothing to like go and impress people for. So like, if I know that if people were to like my music, then that's
Yeah.
great because I know you like what I can offer and this is
Yeah.
what I really can. If I feel like if I'm gonna have to keep being someone I'm not, I'm gonna have to upkeep being that. And I tried, and dude, that's like such a sad. It's just tiring. It's so
Yeah.
tiring. I think any person, any human who has to pretend to be a more improved version of yourself on the daily, right? It's
Yeah.
gonna make you so like
Miserable.
demoralized. I
Yeah.
feel.
It's true.
Yeah.
And you can only last so long as that kind of persona.
Correct.
Yeah. So would you say that you are the artist?
No lah, I'm not artsy fartsy enough. Honestly, I'm too basic
Okay,
to
you're
be
the
artist.
musician's musician.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not. If any musician I meet them, I'll just tell them I'm a basic person who loves Ariana Grande and Britney Spears, and I love it. I'm just a
What's
person who loves
wrong
music.
with being basic and loving Ariana Grande and
There's nothing wrong.
I have the same birthday as Ariana Grande.
Really?
Yeah, that's why on Instagram I used to put myself as like John Venti. Because I'm that kind of weirdo.
It's okay. It's okay. I had like Skater Boy or like that kind of like cheeky underscore M3 as a name,
Like
so it's fine.
SK8.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was not a very popular kid. I was a nerd growing up, so yeah.
Nerd things. Nerd
Yeah.
things. Okay, interesting. Okay, so actually, I mean, basically, your conclusion from that question is that it's not, you don't necessarily chase clout, internet clout.
I think I'll admit I tried at one point because I felt it was part of the job.
When was this?
I was doing YouTube for like 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, and which is where I learned how to do like video editing using Premiere Pro, like camera setup, light, all the Yongnuo lights. Yeah, that kind of thing. Which is why when it comes to technical setups and stuff, like I get it. And when people like complain that things are not working, I was like, chill, man. You know, it's like so stressful for the people behind the scenes to set up stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know, being a YouTuber, a lot of times it's not just doing YouTube. You have to worry about like your Instagram, you know, your presence on the daily and stuff like that. So to a certain extent, I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't chase clout just because they're fame hungry. I'm sure they are, but a lot of times if you're a YouTuber, it feels like it's part of the job also.
It's like your own personal KPI.
Yes, correct.
Right.
So yeah.
Interesting. Before we move on to the next section, right, today we are going to have a giveaway with One Shot Korean Soju, as we can see being held by the lovely Estelle Fly. Yeah. So all you have to do, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, there'll be 2 chances for you all to win, right, which is a set of 3 drinks, right? The mechanics can be found at this page, okay? All you have to do is to go to One Shot Soju SG on Instagram. Yeah. Follow them, and then they will update with a new post. By the time this video is out, the post is there. Follow the instructions and you stand a chance to win 2 sets. Or rather, 2 people stand a chance to win 1 set each. Right? Of 3 one shot Korean soju giveaway. Yeah. Say that quick 5 times. You can't say
I was
one
just
shot.
thinking that.
Say one shot.
Soju.
Say their Instagram handle quick 5 times.
One shot soju SG, one shot soju SG, one shot soju SG. 爱消费小白菜。
Okay, so this is for all you YouTubers, YouTube people out there. Okay, for those of y'all that are tuned in on Twitch, right, we have another set of giveaway for y'all. This one y'all can actually win live. If you follow us on Twitch, you will have already won by then. Okay, but now let's move on to the next segment, and before that, let's crack open another one.
Wow.
Lychee or green grape?
Why don't you choose this time?
Green grape, my dudes. Green grape.
Lychee isn't too bad though.
Lychee isn't too bad. Honestly,
Yeah, but
all
green
your
grape
flavors are pretty
is
good.
safe.
Yeah, let me just empty my cup. And here we go. This is my favorite part about HDHD,
Drinking?
drinking. Because these days I find myself being a little bit too busy and everyone a little bit too socially distanced to have a
Oh.
proper drinking session. And HDHD is an opportunity to do just that.
Yes. So how are you feeling recently, John?
Fantastic, actually.
Fantastic?
Feeling a little bit older, but
Is it necessarily bad?
no, it's not a bad thing.
It's a good thing, right?
Yeah. Feeling a little bit more,
Wiser?
always been wise, don't know what you're talking about.
Ayo, that's what every childish person says. But okay.
I'm not childish, I'm childlike.
A childlike. Okay.
Okay, we are moving on to section 4, Estelle.
Okay.
Which is the live show. Okay, the first
Oh.
question for this section. a large part of the public's perspective of how well one can sing is dependent on things like their Genius interview, where the singer sings without backing tracks.
Right.
Right? The interview has been known to produce bad performances, even out of solid singers.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a problem with the way that we are critiquing artists and their vocal abilities? And are we being too harsh? This is a long one.
I genuinely think yes. A
Yes.
bit too harsh. Yeah, a
Elaborate.
little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all humans.
Mm,
And it's like a voice is very much like an instrument too.
yes.
And I mean, in interviews, a lot of them, they're not warmed up. I
Mm.
mean, talking counts as warm up, but you cannot assume that if you're a singer, you can like sing and then you sound CD perfect, you know?
Right.
Everyone's a human, and yet that even Ed Sheeran, he can go like pitchy and stuff like that.
Mm,
But it
mm.
doesn't discount the fact that he wrote the song. It doesn't discount the fact that he's a brilliant musician.
Yeah.
So I really do think, and I think it's very adamant, especially in Korea too. Okay, I'm speaking from Korea because I watch a lot of K-pop. But yeah, it's like it's come to the point where they feel like you have to be pitch perfect all the time.
Yeah.
But the whole point in you listening to the live is to hear the fact that they are little mistakes. That they sound human too. Imagine if you hear like a perfect CD playback, you're just like, oh, that's great. But I don't know, it feels like it lacks a little
Like
bit of
too
that human.
surgical.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
It's too surgical almost. So I feel like, give them a chance, Like don't be too mean about it. Like I mean, if you type on your keyboard in the office, you type one typo there, then you say, wow, you're a pretty shitty worker in your office. You can't do that,
Yeah.
Be kind. The
That's
world's too
true.
much
Actually, I
shit.
realize this is the case for a lot of performers in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, not only do they have to be perfect, they also
Yeah.
have to pander to a large number of people, which means these are multiple areas where they can show up badly, basically.
Yeah.
And that's where people jump on mistakes and shortcomings more than wins, right?
correct.
So
correct.
that's where I agree with you. And I think this applies with everything actually. It doesn't isn't necessarily
Yeah.
just restricted to musicians.
Exactly.
All right, next question. What makes stage presence, and is it something that can be trained?
I think stage presence possible to train,
Mm.
but there are some people who are born with it, and you can tell. Yeah, you can tell.
Do I have stage presence?
You haven't been on a stage.
That is true. I've
Yeah,
been on
yeah, yeah.
stage to receive awards in primary school before.
Oh, there was everybody looking at you naturally.
I've
It's because you're pole dancing, right? The one skill that you don't want to show off today. You've talked to me and Alistair about.
You are absolutely
times.
right.
He's hiding it. He's hiding it. He's hiding it. He knows that if he were to do it, he'll upstage all his guests. So
Right.
yeah.
You know, I'm not here to show off.
Yeah, exactly. But I do believe that stage presence can be trained. Yeah, and to a certain extent, once you know the tips and tricks as to how to do it, I think you will have it.
What's one tip, I guess, for people who are jittery?
Jittery, really look like you enjoy what you're doing. And the audience can pick up on it. Really, really. I swear to God. Like speaking from a dancer, right? There's a difference between a dancer who dance and you can see in their face where they know that they're executing the steps, and a dancer who enjoys executing the steps.
Ah.
You and a singer who's just singing a song, and someone who's singing from the heart, like someone who's really meaning what they sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. That's a
Good,
tip.
good.
Sekali I also
tips.
don't have, I know all this knowledge, but then I also own self never do.
Hey lah, I think you are fine lah. You are idol senpai.
Hey.
Okay, following question.
Mm-hmm.
Estelle said that performing on stage used to give her a little bit of anxiety,
Yeah.
right? Where she will dissociate and quote unquote autopilot.
Yeah.
Right? For those who don't understand what that feels, could you describe it a little?
What was that? It was like, okay.
Yeah, don't worry,
Sorry,
on
my
this
bad.
show you will hear me burp a lot and make funny noises. So
It's
welcome
like
to the
a-
show.
Little. Yeah. So basically, when I feel like it's a self-defense mode.
Yeah.
And for me, because when it comes to performances, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So I rehearse a lot with my team.
Yeah.
So when it comes, you almost feel like you're not present mentally for sure.
Right.
it becomes muscle memory, which is so weird because it feels like a very out of body experience. It really feels like your body and your brain are a bit of like two different beings. And for me, when it happened, right, it was very much like when it ended, the segment was about like 20 minutes. So after the 20 minutes, when you start to calm down, you realize like, oh my God, I just did that. And I don't remember my thought process when that was happening.
Yeah.
But luckily for me, it's like very much like muscle memory too. But I mean, that's just dance. I cannot imagine people who actually have to dissociate when they're in the midst of a presentation or a meeting. I honestly don't know how people are able to handle that.
Yeah.
Because some people, not everyone is born to present to a large group of people. And people actually dissociate when they're in those moments. And to be honest, it's like one of the worst feelings in the world. It feels very
interesting.
empty, almost. Like really like it's like a Zoid, like a Gundam without a pilot. Yeah. And it's like auto mode lor.
But like, if it gets the job done, would you say that it's a good thing then, even though it kind of sucky to have to put that as a process?
I mean, if you love what you do, it feels sucky.
Right.
Because you're supposed to love what you're doing, right?
Mm-mm.
Then why are you having this dissociative out of body experience? It shouldn't be the case, right?
Yeah.
If anything, you'll want to experience every moment and remember every moment of
Yeah.
it. And that's when you know it really sucks because you don't remember your thought process. You just remember not being able to breathe, not feeling your feet or feeling anything for that matter. But you're just glad you got through it. But you know that if you didn't dissociate, you would have done a way better job. And if you're a perfectionist, that's the thing that kills you the most. Like, you know, you could have done a way better job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So is this something that you still struggle with?
Yes. I mean,
Are there any steps that you can, get yourself out of that state?
I'm still in the midst of doing that, which is one of the reasons why I haven't like done anything new, because I know that if I did, I'm gonna have to go on stage and have to relive the whole thing again. And one of the interesting things was actually I brought this up with John, and John from Zendel.
John Chua.
John Chua, and he was really extremely understanding about it. And I really appreciated it because I think he's been in that situation before.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the worst things I feel like an artist, I mean, there's creative block and stuff, but
Yeah.
the worst thing is having to create and prepare all this to go up on stage and not having to experience any of that in a positive way. Yeah, so I guess the steps I'm taking is just to be a little bit more kinder to myself and just accept the fact that I'm human and I make mistakes. And no amount of preparation can really result to a perfect performance. Because to be honest, if you're a perfectionist, right, even if you did things 10 out of 10, you'll always find something to fault yourself in. So I think it's just being able to accept that. And strangely, when people go through that, just being able to talk it through with them,
Right.
it feels like it's advice being diverted back to me also, because it feels like I'm actually digesting my thought process, which is kind of interesting.
So you learn by teaching more than...
Yeah, which is really odd.
No, actually, that's
Yeah.
very normal. A lot of people are that way. I myself am someone who's like that.
Oh, then
When
yeah.
I discuss ideas with people, when I discuss difficult things that I do with people, not like purely because sometimes opportunities arise where they don't know that I maybe have shortcomings in those aspects. But when we discuss it, I feel that like I become a little bit more clear-headed in what I want to do.
Correct.
So respect that. I respect that. So this time, Estelle, we're going to power through the last few bits, and then after that, we can call it a night, and then we can go back to sleep after drinking our delicious one-shot Korean soju.
Okay.
Section 5, which is called the burnout. Ooh.
Oh, that's
Estelle said that she used to eat at odd timings just to squeeze a dance practice in and packed her days to prepare for a show. Is burnout a problem in the music industry? A problem in the music industry? And how do you deal with it?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm not even like one of the like very high tier popular kind like Ben King or like but I'm pretty sure there's definitely a burnout, especially if they have live shows. And okay, if you're not banking or you're not like Jasmine Soko, and then you're like the ones that in the end you go through like the whole grant situation. There's deliverables, right? So after all like the recordings, the MV shoots, the promotions, then there's a concert you have to deal with, and then you have a live show. Doesn't mean you just wait and then your manager organize everything. A lot of times also you have to do hands on.
Yeah.
So a lot of times if they can keep the momentum up, right, it's like it's freaking tiring because you have to record 3 songs, and in some cases I don't know how many MVs they want, but depending if let's say they want to do like 3 MVs, that's a lot of prep, you know.
Yeah.
and a lot of prep, a lot of admin, a lot of logistics, a lot of producing, a lot of everything. And then at the end of the day, you still need to show up on stage and still perform. And then you realize that 6 months, 5 months have just gone by, and then you just completely burn out.
How do you deal with it though? What's the strategy? It must be sustainable. Right? You get what I'm trying to say, right? So like, how
Yeah.
do you make it sustainable?
I feel it's normal, but I also do think it's maybe because of the whole hustle mentality that's been ingrained in us, which I don't entirely think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because people think that only when you work nonstop and have no sense of like quality of life, then you will succeed in life.
Yeah.
So you know, in life it's always a balance. You know, if you had to put in the work to actually get your career somewhere, we understand. But when the burnout happens, don't push yourself. Like really don't. Because you'll really grow to hate what you like doing because you have to power through your burnout. Which is why? Because you're human, you're still human,
Yeah.
you need rest. So accept the fact that you're a human, you need rest. Pamper yourself. I know people think like, oh, retail therapy. Like, no. Pamper your body.
Right.
Because you retail therapy, maybe your mind very shocked, right? But you wear the clothes, your body's still freaking tired, bro. So you just relax your body. Go for massage. I don't care. Maybe you game, just sleep or whatever. Get your vaccine so you force yourself to freaking sleep and not feel guilty about it. Whatever. Like whatever where your body can actually just recharge.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, right, your body is just going to eventually crash. And when it crashes, you can't do anything, period.
Yeah.
So I think it's just really a state of mind. It's one of those things also like, when old people, when they're old, when they choose to be happy, they live longer also. It's one of those things. So if you're experiencing burnout, don't be guilty that you're burnt out. You
Yeah.
deserve the rest. Tell yourself that you deserve this and then recharge properly and then start working again. So
Nice.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Fantastic advice. Okay, moving on. The next question is: being from Singapore and the local scene adding more pressure on you to perform. How do you feel? Do you feel like you need to go above and beyond to impress the local crowd?
It depends. I
Oh.
really think it depends because, like I mentioned before, I'm a huge believer that Singaporeans may seem like, it comes off like they're very difficult to please.
Yeah.
Okay, Joel, I'm going to use you as an example. Don't
Mhm.
hate me. But Gentle Bones, for example, he's like that one musician who's like, hey, I got show tomorrow lah. I'm just going to post about it today. Like he doesn't promote it prior,
Right.
you realize, and people go to it. It's because he's just unapologetically himself.
Yeah.
He focuses on his craft.
Yeah.
And then he puts out good music videos when the budget allows it. And Singaporeans appreciate that because they know that you're just yourself. You're not being pretentious in any way. You're just being, just focusing on your craft and then being as authentic as you can be. So, yeah, I forgot the question, but yeah, that's it. But I really feel that he's like the best example of that.
The question being like is being from Singapore and the local scene adding more pressure on you to perform?
Okay,
Yeah.
so coming back to that, so I feel that I don't think the pressure a lot of times I feel is like seeing the fact that the local scene is not really huge in the first place. So you feel the need to put on whatever that you see, like the idols you follow, like for example Ed Sheeran or maybe like maybe an indie artist and then they grew big and you feel like you need to follow that method. But I think in Singapore it's a different country and the way people receive whatever you're about to put out, it's probably different. Like if you see Shy, she's also another very mad talented girl, and she's not even in a huge label and people love her for it. So don't feel like you have to cater yourself and be someone else so that Singaporeans will like you. And to be very honest, if you're just yourself and then you need to be a little bit more entertaining, I guess, maybe. But Singaporeans just like the fact that you're just unapologetically yourself. I mean, Joel doesn't do a lot of stupid shit. In fact, he doesn't do anything. But people like his music.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but people do because Singaporeans know that he's good at what he does.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So don't put that pressure on yourself. It's not going to be worth it. If anything, just focus on your craft and focus on how you're going to promote it. Yeah.
That's true. Okay, next question. Estelle once said, and I quote, "A lot of times, even when people tell you it's okay, you usually don't feel that way. You usually just drown the sadness," end quote. For those who are looking to support their friends through tough times, what's your advice for them?
Allow your friends to feel whatever. I feel like a lot of times it's like it's like pushing a balloon into water, and if you just let it like just float on it, like just kind of expose how they're feeling, express how they're feeling, they're gonna get past it a lot more. I feel like when people say, when you say that, oh, I'm going through a tough time, in cases where like you say that, oh, I think I might be going through depression, and then people's like, just cheer up. It's like, okay, how am I supposed to do that? So in order to get there, I feel like you have to really experience whatever. You have to go through the sadness, the pain, the whatever, and just fully experience that, and then kind of process why you're feeling this way.
Yeah.
Because in order for you to make sense of anything, you have to go through it and actually face whatever you're feeling, right? If you don't face it, how the hell are you supposed to process it,
Yep.
right? And even if you do, it's like from a third party perspective a lot of times. And it's one of those that you can give advice very well, but you don't follow your own advice. Yeah. So if your friend is going through that, just be there for them. Let them ride through the emotions. Please don't tell them to cheer up, because it's like, I mean,
If they could, they would have.
Yeah, if they could,
Yeah.
they would have. Exactly. So just listen and kind of help them navigate through that. Like, if they feel sad and then they talk about all that, then ask questions that kind of matter. It's like, well, do you feel like so and so maybe did you wrong? And then why do you feel like that person did you wrong? Help them kind of understand and go towards the resolution to the problem that they have. Because a lot of times people just want to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
Tell them the answer.
Yeah.
You know how us humans, we don't want to listen to what people tell us to do. We want to like actually come to the answer ourselves. And eventually that's like the best way to grow as a person. So just help them, navigate them through that process. And I feel that it will really help a lot more.
Wise words. Very good. Okay, next question I have for you. Mental health is becoming more and more of a big topic in Singapore now, especially amongst youth. Right? What do you have to say to those who believe that the youth of today are soft?
Softer. I feel that it would be soft. Okay, I think. This is just me, okay? I think it's only soft when you use whatever you feel as an excuse to be a shitty person. Yeah. I think a lot of times it's very easy for us to blame the things around us for our behavior and where we are in life. And I think, I think it's, at a point of time, if you're in their shoes, it's human to blame everything else around you. So, I mean, ultimately, you just need to know that everything that we go through is just really like God. Okay, I'm being religious now.
Say it.
Yeah,
say it as you would know it.
Yeah, but I think God would never like put something in your path to just make you a shitty person. Just always remember that we are humans. We are not perfect. Shit is definitely gonna come our way, and you were meant to go through this, so you become the person you were meant to be. And I like to believe is a good person, not a freaking like crazy mental murderer. Yeah, so just take what comes to you and not be just humble yourself. Always make sure you stay grounded. It's gonna really help you in the long run and help the people around you when they need help to be grounded. Yeah.
Solid advice. Okay, our next section, which is section 6, the reception, right? Estelle once said, I always go by the rules growing up.
Yes.
Right.
Facts.
With Tyler, the creator, topping charts with his unorthodox, thank you so much. With Tyler, the creator, topping his charts with his unorthodox music, and Lil Nas X grabbing headlines with his rebel-like behavior, do you think that one has to play by the rules/conventions or break them to be successful in music?
I think it's fine to challenge them. Cheers. Push the limits, but in the world, there must always be order. And I mean, in Singapore, right, we're all about rules. And it's just safer that way. But I think it really depends. Breaking the rules. Breaking the rules. As long as you don't land yourself in jail, can already lah. I think it's always good to challenge what most people believe in at that point of time. Yeah, that's where all the geniuses come, right? Like there's like flat earth. and then they challenge and they'll be like, I don't think it's a flat earth, I think it's round.
Mm,
So I guess as long as you don't murder anyone, you don't land yourself in jail, you don't hurt anybody, and you feel like whatever you're about to do is the betterment of humankind or like anything in general, then yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it's fine to challenge. Yeah. So
to break conventions once in a while, just to shake things up.
yeah, sure, why not? If not, we'll be forever stuck in like no shade lah, in like classical music. I'm
Right.
sorry, I'm a ballerina and I've listened to classical music for many years of my life. But God, if I have to hear 24/7 right now, I'll just be like, oh, maybe I don't know anything outside of classical music. But it'll be just a really very slow existence.
Restrictive, right?
Yeah, I feel like if you drink beer to classical music, it just does not make sense. You have
I
to
mean,
go-
for those of you that do, all more power to you.
yeah, more power to you, man. But I don't know how you can do that.
All right, the next question. There is almost an indie scene versus a pop scene tension / rivalry. Where do you think you fall between these two? And what do you make of this divide?
Oh, I don't think I'm like popular enough in the scene to put my okay, wait, but if I were to place myself, yeah, I genuinely think it's like right smack there, because I will say that I've done like my fair share of influencer stuff, which
Yeah.
most indie artists wouldn't really do much
Mm-hmm.
of. But then again, a few indie artists do that now still anyway. Like, I mean, look at Shai, she's still indie and she does Chanel, she does like Gucci, like big brands. So I mean, in oh my god, in between, this is so tough. Wait up.
It is tough.
I really think I'm right smack in the middle. It
Right.
feels very much like that, because plus I'm not under Zendo or any label right now. It would make me an indie artist, so I think it would be a right smack. But an indie musician, I would just put myself as like that basic bitch, like right up top, like mainstream. Because I will say now, I am not like John Mayer enough to
Yeah.
be considered an indie musician. So yeah, indie artist, pop, mainstream, I think right smack in the middle.
Interesting answer.
Yeah, successful or not, I don't know.
Not the most satisfactory one, but an interesting
Oh, wait,
answer
where do you think
nonetheless.
where do you think I lie?
I don't know enough about music and about your music to answer, but yeah, right smack in the middle.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, Cam, we'll move on to our last section, and then after that, we'll be able to call it a day.
Okay.
Section 7, the dream, right? For many, going overseas as an idol is living the dream, but
Yeah.
it might not be as rosy as one thinks.
Yeah.
What is something you learned in your time in Japan that has bled into other parts of your life outside of music?
Oh.
It can be positive or negative, I guess.
Oof. I would say I'm very anal in terms of preparation, because in Japan everything is well prepared.
Yeah.
But I've learned to understand after going through YouTube and everything and like acting and stuff like that, being the crew and like prepping for stuff. You can only prep, but you never know when shit hits the fan on the actual day and they
Yeah.
just have to, problem solve. I think if anything I learned, you have to be very emotionally strong, regardless.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that I feel like should be constant. And if I were to point anything out, you need to be very strong emotionally, I feel. Because you're gonna meet a lot of people who are gonna judge you, a lot of people who are gonna expect very little of you. And even if you give your best, people are just gonna be meh, and it's gonna come no matter how much you practice, no matter how much you prepare. And there's gonna be a time where you feel like you're gonna question your sense of identity for sure. And especially for me, when I started at a very young age, especially in a very impressionable age, like teenager, 17. You're gonna when you are exposed to so many people who question you all the time, it's inevitable where you start questioning yourself on a daily too. So you just need to need to not give up on yourself.
Right.
I know it sounds like so easy, but it's so ridiculously hard. Like, I don't know how to explain how hard it is, because whatever I've been through, even when I was in Singapore, handling things on my own, it was like a whole new ball game for me. And that was when I learned that if I don't buck up and pull up my socks and take control of whatever I'm doing and just wallow in my emotions, I'm never gonna get anywhere. Like it's really impossible to get anywhere. In Japan, it's like you just idle, right? You just sit there and wait for people to give you stuff. In Singapore, it's like if you don't write anything, nothing's gonna come out of it. Ever. Like that's the first thing. In Japan, it's like they give you the song, they give you the costume, they give you the character, how you're gonna act, blah 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 blah. But when you come to Singapore, it's like a whole different ballgame. You're very much in charge of your life. So if you're not emotionally strong and you crumble, no person out there is able gonna is able gonna
Is
no
gonna
one
be
is
able to-
able is going to be able to dig you out of that.
Right.
Yeah. And I know it's so easy to say, but oh my god. That is why we have psychiatrists, man, because at the end of the day, right, emotionally, if you really cannot,
Yeah.
mentally, you cannot take yourself out of a situation, it's going to be so incredibly hard. Your existence very much depends on it. So, yep. Yeah.
Depressed but deep.
Yeah, trust me, man, your confidence is going to be an all-time zero and you're still going to have to feel like $1 million on stage. And that's like the hardest thing to do. Really, really, really. Yeah.
Okay. All right, next question.
Mhm.
In an interview with Good Hang, Nathan Artono asked, right,
Oh,
quote, "What are your hopes and dreams?" End quote. To which Estelle replied, quote, "It used to be Hannah Montana. I grew up with a lot of false hope from Disney Channel.
yeah.
With songs like Mad at Disney talking about the romanticization of life by Disney. What are some things you think were romanticized for you growing up watching Disney?"
Oh, love, that's for sure. Romance.
There you go.
Trust me, right? Love is not enough for a relationship to work, okay?
It's
You
true.
gotta really like be able to, especially in Singapore, man, the financial situation, like the future plans, how stable they are as a person. Trust me, love is really not enough. And if
It's
you
true.
believe in Rick and Morty style, love only is a chemical reaction that only lasts for 2 years. So you better make sure whatever else that can last for eternity better be solid. Because after the 2 years, the love factor is going to run out. You're going to have to be able to stand the person for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's true. Wow. I totally agree that romanticism is ruining romance.
Yes.
All right, and the very last question for you, Estelle,
Okay.
right, will be, quote, "The dream is to have your passion as your job, but it comes with consequences when you don't know how to manage it." End
Yeah.
quote. What is your advice for others who are looking to pursue their dreams?
If you do music, better make sure that you better be freaking successful, or else you're gonna be freaking broke in Singapore. Okay, but if anything, you're just gonna have to learn how to separate passion from what the client wants. If you want me to
Right.
talk real talk,
Real talk, of course. This
Real
is real
talk,
talk
right?
here.
You have to separate your emotions from what the client wants. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that what the client wants is bad, but a lot of times the client also has their targets to meet.
Yeah.
You know, you have to understand that it's still a business, and sometimes passion and creative direction will not always go hand in hand with that.
Mm.
And I think as soon as you accept that for what it is, hey, go forth and do it, man. It's fine. Like if you feel like, if you're willing to make that change in mindset,
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be a lot easier than you think it's going to be.
100%. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this goes the same for all kinds of creators out there.
Yeah.
Especially you can be a creator in an art form sense, or it could be a product sense because that's your passion. And this is something that you have to apply in order to compartmentalize yourself so that you
Yes.
service the business needs and your creative need.
Yeah. And there'll be times you feel like you don't even service your creative needs, but you're just going to have to do what you have to do, you know that? Yeah.
Nice. That's a nice way to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've
Positive
come
note.
to the end of today's HTHT.
Oh, thank you so much.
Did you
Dan.
enjoy yourself?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any last words that you would like to say to our audience?
Oh my god, I'm so pressured to say something wise.
Say something, but you can don't say something also.
If anything, guys, just there'll be some situations where you feel like it's like freaking question mark, but you know what? It's gonna be another day and you're just gonna forget about it. It's just gonna be the past. So just roll with the punches. And eventually we're all just gonna freaking retire with a drink in our hands. So just look forward to that. Don't take yourself too seriously, and then just enjoy what life has to give you, even though it freaking sucks. Just hang in there, man. You're gonna survive it for sure. So yeah.
Now I feel tempted to say something wise as well. So
Because what I said wise.
don't take drugs, stay in school. Thank you.
Yes. Say no to drugs.
Yes. And yes, thank you everyone for watching another episode of HTHT today. If you'd like to follow Estelle, we'll leave her socials in the description box below. And for everyone else who's watching this, do remember give us a like, share, and a subscribe, and to follow us on Instagram, join our Telegram chat, and join us on Twitch every week. We will be streaming our IMO episodes along with a little bit of conversation happening every week.
Nice.
Thank you once again, Estelle, for being on the show with us.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. John
Yes.
Alistair, thank you so much.
Yes, and of course, thank you One Shot Korean Soju for sponsoring the episode here.
Yeah,
If you got
man.
any other friends that would like to sponsor us in various ways, we won't say no.
Yeah, like a pole.
Yeah,
You'll see a silver pole that we built here already. And the entrance will be John sliding down from it.
that's some little Nas X thing going on, but like I am in no way as creative as that guy. But yeah, okay, thank you everyone for being on here today. Hope you all enjoyed the show so far. Peace out for my YouTube fam. Bye bye.